I know the road is long, make me strong.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Islam Choose Me, right here on IBN Channel 8. You could also view us on Facebook and on tegotv.com. And remember, there's a rerun every Saturday, inshallah, at 6 p.m. I'm your host, Brother Mtima Solwazi, the activist educator. And each week, we will share the powerful journeys of our brothers and sisters who have embraced Islam. Their stories of discovery, struggle, and transformation remind us of the truth that Allah guides whom He wills in ways that inspire and motivate us all. But before I get into my guests, a special guest I have here with you all today, I want to big up my Baba. Now, when I was younger, a hairstyle like this, you already call this a girl rush me. But as I get older, no girl in rushing you. So there's a nice halal haircut, right? And if you want to look as dashing and as handsome as I am, check out Exclusive Barber, right? On the southern main road, heading to the highway in Shogunas. So if you know where Montrose Moss is, on the other side is Exclusive Barber. When you go tell him, Mtima send you. All right? So, our special guest today is Brother Qadir Sebastian Edwards. Welcome to IBN, Islam Choose Me. How are you, my brother?
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. So, Qadir, this is the first time at IBN?
At IBN, yes.
All right. So it's so fancy studio is.
That's nice.
High-tech thing, eh?
True.
Yes. So, Qadir, Islam Choose Me is about sharing your story, right? Yeah. That journey to becoming Muslim. And, we could get all in your business in all different kind of ways on this program. And I like to allow my guests to be comfortable to really share the story, because I say each story in itself, there's a message, there's a special thing that would guide each person. As we say, every path to Islam is a story worth sharing. So tell us a bit about Qadir, who is Sebastian Edwards? And I need to remember, I asked you about this Edwards name already. Today we have to finalize the relation with this Edwards name.
My brother Travis used to always say that your surname comes from the plantation your family was on.
Okay.
Right? But the Edwards part of my name came from my grandfather. He was from Grenada, really.
Okay.
And had a East Indian wife, girlfriend as they call it back in the days.
Yeah.
Got her pregnant and had to run from Grenada and come to Trinidad.
Okay.
Right? Incidentally, he had, I think it was about 9 children in Grenada. He also had 9 more in Trinidad.
A busy man, boy.
And what we found out later on, that a lot of the kids in Trinidad had the same names as the kids in Grenada. So if my father, Francis Edwards,
right,
he had a Francis in Grenada as a son.
You can't.
Don't ask me much about
He's a smart man, boy. He ain't calling a wrong name.
He ain't calling a wrong name at all. Yeah, but I'm as now a career public servant.
Okay.
Ministerial works supervisor 3. Sometimes head of district drainage north. My journey back to Islam started in around 1988, around that time.
Okay.
It had around the Jamaat al-Muslim, it had a rush to people joining the Jamaat.
I know what that period.
I wasn't one of them. Unfortunately, I wasn't one of them. I had all my childhood friends rushed to the Jamaat. I didn't.
Okay.
Right? It took probably, Allah first.
Yeah, Allah guys had it.
Right? Allah first, and he used two brothers. A brother by the name of Abasi Jawad
Right, I know about it.
and Adnan Abdaladil.
I know the right, know the
They
two.
worked. I used to work with Adnan doing straightening and so on.
Okay.
Right? He used to hear that straightening garage. I used to work with him. He taught me a lot about how to use my hands to earn a living. So I used to work with him. And I went to youth camp in Chatham
All right.
to further my studies. I became Muslim after a while. I became Muslim, I think was December 1989.
Okay.
Right? I became Muslim December 1989. And the tough part about that was that 2 weeks after I became Muslim was Ramadan.
Ah, I see.
So I get thrown into the deep end
Fast
immediately.
one time, yeah.
Alhamdulillah, throughout then, from then to now, I probably missed about 2 weeks of fasting through all the Ramadan that passed.
Yeah.
And we had a saying amongst a couple of friends. We used to have a blackboard on the wall, and we used to put the date, what month it is, and so on, and how much, especially during Ramadan.
Yeah.
We used to count down the days in Ramadan that we fasted. So the joke between myself and a couple of brothers was that we only fasted when we see Ramadan on the board.
Okay.
If
okay.
Ramadan not on the board, we're not fasting. Forget that. I licorice.
You making no sooner fast.
And we know. I mean, I did it, yes.
Yeah.
But that was not our practice per se.
Yeah.
Right? But my journey started back then. And 1990 came. What happened.
Yeah.
A lot of us got involved. We were there. We did the 23 and a half months prison and whatnot. We did that. And coming out of that, it had a lot of learning. A lot of information was shared. A lot of knowledge was had about what the Jamaat al-Muslimin really was about then.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, granted, we were young, impressionable, so we did not really think about the danger or the repercussions of what we were doing. That was a thing because majority of the people there were youths.
Yeah.
But because of I think mostly because of my education, and my favorite thing to say is that I didn't spend my mother and father money behind the school.
Yeah.
I spent the money in school because I came out with a decent slate of subjects.
What school you went?
St. James Sec.
Ah,
St. James Government Secondary. Yeah.
You did A-level too?
Nah.
Okay.
I did what I did subsequently after that, when I came out of prison, I went back to school.
Okay.
Finished my quota subjects, got passes in what I needed to, and was again back out in the world, trying to do what I need to do to stay alive and so on. Nothing criminal per se, but just doing what I need to do to stay alive. And then, well, where to go? Basically, fell into a job at URP. At first, it was easy going, had couple government changes and back and forth and so on, but my practice of being always trying to be the best I could be, right, led me into senior positions in URP. Couple people took chances on me based on the practice.
I like that word you use because people don't understand that we need to take a chance on the youth, right? And I think that is what kind of lacking right now I could say that in society, we're not taking that chance. I think,
Yeah.
Because that era you're talking about, that was in my era also, and person took chances on me. Like, I went serve also, Father Pantin took a chance on me, right? And look the outcome. You say people take chances on you, look the outcome today. So we need to really maintain the custom of taking a chance on the youth. So you say some people take a chance on you and...
Yeah, the first person, his name slips me right now.
Yeah.
The first person that took a chance on me was a guy, I remember his name as Theodore.
Okay.
Right? He told me, based on some stuff I was doing within the program,
Yeah.
he said he had a opening for engineering assistant. At that time, my forte was in technical studies. I was was actually trying to build computers and do networking and stuff like that back then. And he said he had an opening for engineering assistant. If I could get one of the MPs in the area to recommend me for the position. The only person I knew then, the three MPs at that time were Dr. Rowley, Mr. Valley, Ken Valley, and Mr. Imbut. So I had one friend working for Kenneth Valley. So I asked her, I told her what the guy said. She said, all right, let me talk to Mr. Valley. Mr. Valley said, just let him come and see me. So I went across Public Day and walked to his office. He just opened the door. She had the letter in front of him already.
Prepared, yeah.
And he just looked at, he said, oh, it's you. Okay, no problem, no problem. And he signed the letter. And because of that chance, me just knowing, I worked as a mason before with my stepfather in URP on crews on the outside and stuff like that. But I was not really a technical person per se, to do estimates and so on. And with that, I got appointed engineering assistant. But I remember distinctly, I got my appointment letter the 1st of August that year. And by the end of August, I was in a class in Karapichaima Secondary, UE School of Continuing Studies, doing courses in estimation and cost planning, other technical subjects to get started in that field.
Ah, boy.
So that went from there straight up to a degree in construction project management.
Okay.
Right? And went from strength to strength, I think, and again, 2 other people. I was in Diego Martin working, government change, got terminated. My neighbor then at the time, James Lambert, he's called me Aki.
Yeah.
He said, Aki, how you home? What going on? I said, well, I get fire. He said, nah. He said, all right. Right there, he pick up the phone, make a phone call. Say Monday morning, was waterfront towers. The permanent secretary will be there, he expecting you, go and see him. I want to know, well, what is all this talk is about? You talk. I said, all right, no problem. Went there, sit down outside, waiting for about 3 hours to see this man. And he came outside. He came outside with a document in his hand. Say, take this letter, and not sending you back Diego Martin. You're going head office. Head office URP was El Socorro at the time. It went back to El Socorro.
Okay.
Was the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Works and Transport, I think it was, or local government or something like that. Went across to URP as in head office engineering assistant. And I think from there, the story just unfolded. It went from engineering assistant to head office engineer to senior engineer in URP. And all the time still trying to manage what's happening around me, living in what we just call a hotspot.
Yeah.
Right? Having to manage living like that, living there, and doing work on the outside. But I think the siding period for me was the period between 2010 to 2015, because I got terminated in 2010, and in 2011 was back in the program. So then from 11 to 15 is where I think that was the most work I ever did in my entire life under
That program.
under Suraj Rambachan.
Yeah.
He saw what I could have done and removed me from the senior engineer role that had to deal with all the regions and the core programs and whatnot, and made me what they had in Europe was a special projects coordinator.
I know that too.
That was strictly dealing with construction. So projects from the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago, that was me and a team that he asked me to put together. I put together a team of young, almost graduates from UTT. We did a program with, was 9 students from UTT, brought them into the program to do basically, it's like OJT.
Yeah, okay.
So we were doing OJT then, before OJT even started. Right? We had young people who were in UTT and brought them into URP and put some of them in the regions to assist. And I set up a team with about five of them. And we would just go in, we get a complaint from wherever, and the minister would send the information, we go do the investigation, get the project completed, carry through the motions and get the project completed.
Oh, hearing you talking, Kadir, oh God, I'm trying to keep this real neutral. If you didn't, while you're talking just now, and I saying, if anybody now tune in, would not believe is Europe you talking about. No, I'm being honest. And then you mentioned the word Europe, I say, all right, the more you saying Europe, you know, it really is. I'm not saying this in light of what's happening now.
Yeah.
I'm saying this in light of what we perceive from before.
Yeah.
Programs like these to be, you know, and hearing that you literally start at the bottom like anybody else. Work at 10 days, and you work yourself up to 30 days.
Well,
you move from 10 days to 30 days, you know?
I think I have seen the worst of URP. I have seen,
that period you're talking about.
I've seen the worst.
Was that a tough period too?
I've seen a lot of friends get killed.
Yeah.
For basically 10 days.
In this program.
I see a lot of friends of mine, a lot of people I know personally die because of URP. And I've seen a lot of people, I've seen people throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad in masjids, temples, churches, smile because of the work URP was able to do. Homeowners smile because of the fact that URP was able to save the house, right? I've seen old ladies literally jump with joy because they could finally get to come out from the house and walk down to the road without having to sit down on the bank to come down the hill.
No, I know, well, you know, Europe have changed from due to lid to, well, from special work to due to lid. And as a child, my mother used to work special works. Right? At least that's how we went to school.
Yeah.
How school books was purchased. You know, food on the table, she working special works. And then she would work. After special work, she'd go to a car park and work. And then in the night, she'll work at country club as a cook. So I know about this 10 days scenario. And, you know, I didn't have much experience per se with the 10 days, but the 3 instances that stood out for me was one, it would have been when it was lit. I think when it was lit, it was under NAR.
In the area.
Right. And as a youth man, you know, me working, I ain't doing nothing. And on our 10 days, again, the perception.
Yeah, that is lime.
Italian smokers do.
Yeah.
So, I had the 10 days, you know, doing my little hustle and thing. And I always had my ID card on me. And I remember the guy is dead now, named Ramel. And listen, he took a chance. Ramel called me, say, youth, come. He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm hustling. Yeah, but you can't out on the work here. I said, yeah, but me robbing nobody. You know, because I had a little joint on it. I said, me robbing nobody. He said, have an ID card? I took out my ID card. And he said, he took back my number. He said, come back and check him. And he gave me 10 days. Right? He gave me 10 days. And then, when he gave me the 10 days now, he realized the little kind of probably swear I had now.
Yeah.
So they were building a stone wall, boy, in Barton Lane. He said, get some youth men to volunteer because there's kind of behind her.
Yeah.
First to finish our wall. I said, well, just get a pot of peel out and a case. And we run that thing up. And then he allowed me now to like, we call picks.
Yeah.
And I ensure that all them mothers, all my partners' mothers and thing, get a little 10 days. And, you know, that was my first real experience. And then I remember, within that now, a virgin of mine get a 10 days, but he had no ID card. No, all the time, me not no racket, But I say, well, you know, they take down his name, he work. He actually worked 10 days.
Yeah.
Time to go for pay now. That time he used to go in Salvatore building.
Yeah.
Because he ain't getting no money. I said, well, why you ain't getting pay? So somebody said, go Salvatore building. And this stayed with me. We in the elevator. And I prepping him what to tell them when you reach upstairs. Explain to them this, that. And a man behind us in the elevator, don't know the guy. But I never forget this experience, an Indian man. He said, where's your age? I told him, I was about probably 16. Where is your age, my partner? I was about 14. He said, why are you running down URP? He said, do not run down this. And that stayed with me, boy. I said, you see me? Let me find something else. Because it really had a stigma too around that time.
The program always had to have that,
but
stigma.
You see, but and let me be fair, that would have started with what you call it crash program, you know. If people understand the history of this thing, Eric Williams brought in the crash program, and that was really to give men who came out of prison, who wasn't getting work, an opportunity to earn an income, but at the same time help to develop the community. Because you will know, Kadir, from ever since, the baddest man was the foreman.
Yeah, always.
And the woman was the checker. Right? It had no, that, you couldn't escape that.
Can't escape that.
Right? The foreman is the bad man, the woman is the checker. And that don't have to be the wife, the woman is the checker. So it always said that. So that was the real genesis of this program, to really help men who come out of prison, who couldn't get work. It gave them a source of income, and at the same time, they help to develop the communities. Somewhere along the line, it get kind of a little warped.
Convoluted,
it changed the whole face of it, and it ended up into now.
It became, for most men, more of a money-making thing.
I was going to say a hustle.
It became more of a hustle.
A kind of legal hustle in that sense.
It didn't continue being a way to help
develop the
community and to help the less fortunate ones. It become more of a hustle.
Yeah, so, but your story here that you gave in the first few 15, 20 minutes, tell a different story?
Well, again, things would happen differently for some people. Some people might have written a different story. But again, when I became Muslim, I wanted better, not just for myself, but for the people around me. So to this day, right, part of my, I don't want to say legacy because it will sound like a real old thing, but my community in Bagatelle, right, Diego Martin, right, the only piece of pavement in Bagatelle was what I was able to do through URP.
Subhanallah.
Right? About almost 300 meters of pavement. Right? The first part was done with the 10 days workers, and the second part was done under contract. We hired a community contractor to do it, somebody from the community also. So that stands today still as part of something that I was able to contribute to my community. A lot of young men I grew up with, I assisted them, and something I used to do back then, if I had a construction crew doing work, when August came around, no construction cannot happen. I have single mothers and stuff from the community, they on the crew. Because at the end of August, or during August, books had to buy,
I get you.
uniform had to buy.
I get you.
Right? So, and that was my practice then.
I get you.
And it came a time when I just as the person who told you, do run down URP, I could call it a revelation that this is not for me. This is
I
not
didn't
for
have
me.
know who that man, boy. I didn't have no. I tell you, the man just said, "Where's your age? Where's your age? Don't run this down." You know, and that words stuck with me, and I don't think I ever run down that because that is the only experience I ever really had with URP.
I would never in my life ever have bad things, based on my experiences, have bad things to say about what that program could do.
Now you
I've seen URP done so much work, good work in every single community. A lot of people don't even know the Panyard by the Tambran Tree.
Going up
In Success.
Eastern Main,
in Success. URP renovated that Panyard.
Okay. Now you have a different story.
The community center on Duncan Street.
Right.
URP renovated that center on Duncan Street. A number of projects in hotspot areas. There's a police youth club on Savannah number 2, just behind the new stadium. URP built that police youth club. URP built police youth clubs and activity centers in Gasparillo, Princestown, all over. So I could never look at URP and say that good cannot come out from it.
Yeah.
They have a number of men I know now personally who are well-off contractors who started in URP.
I like that.
Right? I know a number of people like that.
I like that.
And they started doing honest work.
In the program.
In the program. A lot of people started doing honest work in the program. So I would never look back and say URP was that
was your launching pad.
Yeah, and then to continue my story, I almost get blocked from it because the same minister who gave me so much clout in the program, in January 2015, I got appointed as a work supervisor in the Ministry of Works, permanently, to become a member of the public service. And he almost tried to block it. He almost tried to block it, but I wasn't having it. I tell him it's time for me to move on.
Yeah, go up point, man, disappointed or something like that. Yeah.
I took a huge cut in salary for the comfort of being permanently employed.
So
right? I took a huge cut in salary for the comfort of being permanently employed. And that in itself made me realize that life is about being able to adapt. And I try to, whenever I have cause to talk to anybody, young men on the streets and so on, I keep telling them that they're not doing anything now that wasn't done before. Ask anybody on the streets now, if they know the story of Mark Guerra and Malik and all these others, Bulls and Tuxat, if they know the history of these fellas, how bad they was on the streets, and all met the same end. So you're not doing anything now that wasn't done before. It went before you.
Good point, good point. And with that, because this conversation getting nice, but we had to take a break. But viewers, if you're now joining us, or if you join us from the starting, I know you are not shocked to hear this man talking, you know. I know you're doubting what is Europe talking about, but yes. And our brother Qadir moved from 10 days to 30 days. So we're going to take a short break, have something to eat, have something to drink, we have some bills to pay, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion on Islam Chose Me with our special guest, Qadir.
Never too early, never too late to recharge and hydrate. Get your daily dose the right way. Grab an Oasis, now why wait? Never too early, never too late to recharge and hydrate. Get your daily dose the right way. Grab an Oasis, now why wait? The greatest, the safest Oasis for sure. Oasis, it's purer than pure.
Fruitopia, the drink that rocks your lunchtime. Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's a drink that's hype. The citrus punch, fruit punch tastes nice. Guava, pineapple, that give me a vibe. We no want nothing less compared to the rest. Fruitopia the best. Punch any thirst when it comes to the test. Perfect thing for my lunch. Flavors pack a punch. Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's a drink that's hype. The citrus punch, fruit punch tastes nice. Fruitopia, the drink that rocks your lunchtime.
Try our new passion fruit flavor today. Taste the passion.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, viewers, to Islam Chose Me with your host, Brother M. Tima Sorwazi, the activist educator with not a girl rush me again. Yeah, that's because I'm too old for girl to rush me, right? But a real nice haircut from ex-barber saloon, ex-barber in Enterprise, Shogunas, right? So our guest, we have our special guest, Qadir. And before the break, Qadir was talking about, which I know shocked everybody, the amount of amazing work you have done in your stint at ERP. But what also was fascinating, that you mentioned you all will get UTT students, right, to come and use the skill that they learned at UTT in the program, right? So let us go back to that. Tell us a bit about because I would not think generally I in UTT University and you tell me come and work URP. No, that
Well,
real.
because of the type of work that we were doing,
Right.
right? The minister at the time, Surajratan Rambachan, he was looking for a more professional approach to doing what we were doing. I mean,
Amazing.
not that my standard of work wasn't good enough,
Yeah.
but we decided then to branch out into the wider community to bring in people, because our thought process then was that if we don't teach, we don't grow,
Yeah.
right? So part of it was while these kids in UTT learning
The skill.
the skill from books and from in classroom.
Like what? So like what?
Well,
what
it's
field?
construction, basically
Okay,
civil
okay.
engineering,
Okay,
structural
okay.
engineering, and so on.
Nice.
Right? My forte being mostly hands-on
Right.
with my ability to project manage and so on. Right? My role was then to take these students some of whom never built anything, but they were doing a technical subject, and put them to actually have a hands-on approach to managing
in the
projects,
field, yeah.
doing because our projects at the time in URP range from, in terms of cost, range from as little as $75,000 to as high as $500,000, $750,000, or $500,000 per phase of projects.
Yeah. Because I
Right?
said
Because
yeah,
we couldn't
yeah.
cross that $500,000 without having to go out to go to Central Tenders Board at the time.
Yeah.
So we brought them in to help design, to help manage, to help supervise various types of construction projects. So the projects we did range from civil works, mostly civil works, box drain, paving, retaining wall systems, or as went into one key project that we did was the masjid at IMG La Solita, Kelly Village.
Okay.
We did over the entire roof of that structure.
URP project.
URP. That was a URP project.
Interesting.
The National Cricket Center in Couva,
Balmain?
in Balmain, the entire fence wall around there, that was a project through URP. Most of it was through URP.
And
Across the highway, Presal Recreation Ground,
Okay, yeah.
the refurbishment of the pavilion and so on, that was also URP.
Those students of the real
A lot of work was done, technical work.
Yeah.
We went as far as
Because they're moving about too in different communities.
Icarcus. There's a temple in Icarcus that URP renovated. One in Rio Claro, URP renovated. URP did a lot of good work throughout the years. I think that, and not just limiting the period to that 2010, 2015 period, but even before that.
Yeah, prior to that.
Different communities, Lavantil, Diego Martin, all over the country, right? We completed on a smaller scale back then, right? They did a lot of walkways in Lavantil, Picton area. The steps going between all the houses and stuff. URP did a lot of that work to develop that community as best they could.
Okay. Now, within that, now, we know there's another side of Kadir, right?
Yeah.
Not just the project management side, the construction side, but also a sporting side. So tell us, now who don't know, they will know now, right? Because that's how I know you in terms of that's the sporting arena. So tell us when did you get into that, and again too, you take it at a different level too. So let me hear about this, and I want you to tell us what sport it is.
Well, to be honest, my first love as a young athlete growing up was football.
Okay.
Right? I always loved football. I chose because, again, as I said before, I spend my mother and father money in school, not behind the school. So I figured out that the easiest way to make the team, any team, is to be the goalkeeper.
Okay.
I figured it out then. The one position that most other footballers don't want to play
Goalkeeper.
is the goalkeeper. So everybody running from it, I run into it. So I know when they're picking our team, is the goalkeeper and any 10. Right? That was my logic. So I played minor league football for years. I played football with some greats in minor league. I played with Ross Russell,
Okay.
Trevor Nottingham, right? Until we got a little older, and myself and another brother, we started managing a minor league team. I think everybody around Port of Spain, Diego Martin, would have heard the name Taliban,
Okay.
right? We had a team named Taliban. Almost every single national player from that era in the 90s to 2000s
Play.
would have played for Taliban.
Huh.
When we played in the poorhouse, it had another team, I think was this Chinese man from in town, Kemaz, Kenneth Maz.
Yeah, Kenneth, yeah.
Right? When Kemaz team playing
Yeah, 'cause
Taliban.
He had a team used to play
Yeah,
when
Kemaz, when
St.
Kenneth Maz
Paul's,
team
yeah.
playing in St. Paul's Street
Yeah.
is the whole national team playing on both sides.
Okay.
When the two teams playing, is the entire national team, barring one or two that not there, but
Yeah.
it's the entire 22-man squad from the national team on the field in the
Both
poorhouse.
sides.
Right? And same thing when we go into Diego Martin. Players, well, we didn't have that kind of powerhouse opposition in Diego Martin, but other teams, that was like Ross Russell team from
You
Quarry
bring
Street.
back some memories, eh, boys?
They would have played broad national players. Players like, people might even remember players like Elliot Allen
But,
from Powder Magazine, Jughead. They played with other teams in Diego Martin.
because since Kenneth passed on, yeah, boy,
it-
do have that.
Mtima, to be honest,
Oh,
at
shucks.
community level, at grassroots level, what we traditionally experience is that there might only be one or two people within the community with the vision
Yeah,
or the
boy.
passion to drive sports in the community.
Could that man used to have that thing in St. Paul Street right through, boy?
It have very few people in the press community would dip into their own pocket and fund sport activity, whether it's youths or age people or older people into sports in the community. That's why when you look at the press communities throughout Trinidad, you might find one bright spark come out because his mother and father probably have enough to send him outside to play.
Yeah.
But for every one that make it out the community, it probably have about 20 behind that couldn't get the opportunity to come out. Right? And well, moving on from football.
Well, I didn't say no, you was in football, eh?
Yeah, I was in
I
football.
was shocked, yeah.
Right? Moving on from football, at the time, the club, Maryboy Sports Club, right? The late, great president of the club, manager as we used to call him, Patrick Rampasad. He was, as we say, chief cook and bottle washer of the club. And while I was still in URP, I always liked cricket. Right? I always liked cricket. I like to play windball cricket. I never really played hardball cricket, but I love cricket. In fact, I love test cricket. I would sit down wherever time of the day or night, and West Indies playing, which part in the world, I would wake up to watch West Indies play cricket on TV. They're playing in the Oval, I want to go in the Oval and watch them play in the Oval. But when I was in URP in Diego Martin, I started, on weekends, I started to leave home, take a stroll along the road. Maryboy is playing home. And there I saw a need for to say volunteerism with the club. So I started volunteering just to help with certain things. I volunteered the government material from URP to build side screens for the club.
Okay.
The first one we built, sprang a thief it out the same night we built it.
Oh, shucks.
And again, because I'm a community attachment
Yeah.
to the so-called bad boys and thing, it took one phone call
To get it back.
to get it back. It came back the same day. Everything came back the same way. Right? So, through that, it grew, the relationship between me and Mary Boys grew. Right? Until, 2016, 2017, I started to get a small stipend to manage the club. So that the president then could basically take a little time home with his family, because before that, he literally had no time for family. Because, as I say, it was him as chief cook and doing
Bottle washer,
everything, and the players. So it had nobody else to help. One or two others probably, but not at the level that I was prepared to go. Right? And I started managing the club. We won two or three national titles then with the club until 2018, where as soon as the season finished, he passed away.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a real sad time for me, and it appeared as though after he passed that the club was going to fall apart because it had nobody. Incidentally, then the Diego Martin Sporting Complex was being built.
It's down to the end.
Yeah, down to the end of the year. Yeah, Savannah Barrel
Nice place,
Corner,
yeah, boy.
right?
Nice,
That was being built. And again, seeing my ability, the contractor hired me as a sort of community liaison
Okay.
with the project. So I was basically supplying labor from the community to the project and making a little dollar for myself too at the side, but I was basically supplying labor and encouraging other subcontractors to work on the project. So a number of people from the community, they got subcontracts on the stadium, right? It was around that same time. Well, it was being built in 2018, and then Mr. Rampersad died in 2018, around July in 2018. And well, looking back now, I think maybe maybe a bit more than I could chew, but alhamdulillah, it worked out in the long run because I used the money that I made
on the
project to basically start trying to keep the club alive. Right? I basically sponsored the club for the first year.
Yeah, but like based on what you're talking there, like you was managing training.
Well, basically.
That is interesting.
Basically, right? I learned a lot of it by actually having to do it by myself. Right? I learned a lot about man management, learned a lot about cricket by having to do it for myself. I learned to prepare wicket, learned to pull covers, right? Learned a lot, learned about curatorship in terms of how to keep grass alive on the field and on the wicket and so on like that. I did a couple of courses in it to further my knowledge on it.
You know what is constant in this whole discussion? No matter what you get into, you go and you learn about it. You know?
Well,
so you get into construction, you're going to do a construction course.
As a Muslim, that is what we were. As a Muslim, that is what we were commanded to do.
Seek knowledge.
Right? Yeah. Seek knowledge. So as long as I live, I would be forever seeking knowledge about anything that I am involved in. I would continue to seek knowledge on it.
Not a real commendable what you could
Right,
do. Trust
anything.
me.
And the club, well, we played the first year. I think we got relegated that first year, right? Because the funding wasn't there. All the funding wasn't there. Couple of players played for free for the whole season. That is not something that's really happening in semi-professional sports in Trinidad. Players don't play for free, really. So the demotion then was a chance to regroup and refocus and come back a little stronger. So the club got demoted, and then COVID happened. So the money that I would have spent on the club
During
when
that
COVID
period,
happened,
yeah.
I basically used it to assist a couple of the less fortunate players and so on. So the following season, we played only white ball cricket. So it had no promotion or anything like that the following season. So we played, I think that was 2020. It stopped in 20 Africa in 2020. It stopped in 2020, sorry. It didn't have no cricket at all in 2021.
So like first quarter in 2022.
Yeah. So when 2022 came around, they played the white ball cricket alone. So it didn't have no promotion and demotion with that. We actually lost 2 finals in 2022. We made it to the finals and lost both. And then 2023, we got a sponsor. We got a sponsor in 2023 for 2023, 24, 25. 3 years, which was Promo Unlimited.
I think I
Right?
saw that
Yeah,
on,
for Promo
on
Unlimited.
Facebook. Yeah.
And through that sponsorship, we were able to do more. Not just hire better players, but do more in terms of community engagement. My firm belief is that we still should have done a lot more than we did in terms of community engagement, but we could only look at that in hindsight now and say, well, we should have done more. We should have done more in terms of getting the club to as close to self-sufficiency as possible. But again, the passion and vision at community level just only be shared by a few.
Yeah, always.
It's only a few. So getting people to come on and basically help or to assist and probably do like me and probably spend some of their own money that wasn't happening, right? And everybody who come in to either work or to play had to get paid. So a lot of funds was expended making sure that players were paid, making sure players.
But where you all are today in terms of, because I've seen a lot of good things on Facebook.
We're still in Premier One, cricket.
Okay.
Because I think this year past they didn't have any demotion or anything like that. But this year coming is where the competition going back to promotion and demotion.
Okay.
Right? So this year coming here going to be a tough year for the club. What we basically did this year in 2025 was that we basically scrapped the membership of the club and started rebuilding with youths. So we basically have mostly under 19 players who played national under 19, who played club under 19 and so on. So we basically rebuilding with these players and hoping to grow from strength to strength and look at dominating the cricket landscape. We don't have deep pockets like some of the other clubs, but we hoping to go that route. But I skip a whole huge part out of my cricket journey, boy. Again, going back to people taking a chances on me as a Muslim, right? The president of Trinidad Tobago Cricket Board took a chance on me in 2021, right? And appointed me as national manager
of the cricket?
Of the national Trinidad Tobago Red Force.
Okay.
Right? I still question his decision making, but I am not one to shy away from a
Subhanallah.
challenge. And that first year, what was during, basically still during the lockdown, that first year was probably the first time I traveled to anywhere in the Caribbean outside of Tobago and probably St. Vincent. And we went to Antigua. The squad that went to Antigua was basically the who's who of Trinidad and Tobago cricket at the time. Because that squad had people like Kyron Pollard, Sunil Narayan, Dinesh Ramdin.
Could you ain't tell me that big boss sitting down with
Nah, I too
Yeah,
humble.
he's a
I
big
too humble to see myself as that.
I telling Hasbi to have a part 2 in these shoes, no boy.
We won that tournament in 2021 without losing a game. We didn't. The Trinidad and Tobago Redford didn't even come close to losing a game in that tournament.
Yeah,
The following year, we came second to Jamaica. We played Jamaica in the final in Antigua again and lost the final. 2023, we won the final here in Trinidad. Right? And 24, we didn't make the finals. We've lost in the semi-final.
Viewers, will you listen to this man here? Now listen, because we really reach our limit in terms of time, but Qadir, viewers, this brother here is a potential awardee for emancipation through Islam. And you see why? You see why? So, Alhamdulillah, Qadir, this was a very moving and insightful conversation. I want to thank Allah for our guest, Qadir Sebastian Edwards, for sharing his story with us today. May Allah continue to strengthen us, our faith, and guide us on the straight path. If you have been touched by this story of what you have heard, and I know this story have touched you because I was touched by it, remember that guidance is a mercy from Allah. Seek knowledge, ask questions, and reflect on the beauty of Islam. If you want to share your story, contact me, Brother Mtima, at 479-4510. And if you want to sponsor this program, Islam Chose Me, or any other program on IBN, reach out to Brother Hasib Majid at 795-5900. Viewers, join us next Sunday, inshallah, at 9 a.m. for another episode of Islam Chose Me. Because every path to Islam is a story worth sharing. And remember, we run on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Chic Leisure Limited, making life easier. Our renowned great tasting vermicelli comes pre-cut in regular and parch, packaged to make preparation simple. Attention all doubles vendors and roti makers, try our high quality pre-sifted bromate free all-purpose and whole wheat flour, low price and conveniently